So the need comes in case you want to process it. If there's something that you're going through, something you're not getting answers to, something that's not clear, something that is disturbing you, then the need arises to kind of approach it with a different light, in a different light, to understand what's happening. Because art does give you some signals. If everything is smooth and fine, if it's just recreational art, it's perfectly fine. You don't need to analyze it.
I saw somebody asking about orange, I think, and would it be by any chance connected with the attributes of an orange? Like, for example, I per se, my conscious brain knows that orange is good for detox, it is good for good skin, it is sour and sweet, so that also has a very strong role in my memory. So does it play a role, like, by any chance?
It may, Trishant, it absolutely may, but it all depends on what is the situation or what is she going through or what is there in her mind. But yes, you're absolutely right. There are 100% chances that it may be related to the attributes that an orange has. Something sour and sweet, maybe there's a sour and sweet experience that she's had, or something, maybe she needs a detox, or maybe she needs hydration. It could be just that also. Yes. So
just a moment, I'm gonna unmute Simi.
Thank you for this beautiful workshop. I was really waiting to learn what art therapy is. Though I'm able to understand it's a very little, but I want to continue with the full course, or how to actually judge after this doodling or scribbling what exactly it is. I send my picture to you. I was just making the same thing, whether I have a pen or a paper, while I'm studying, while I'm thinking, while I'm doing anything else. So I used to do this thing on my copies. Means मेरी हर एक कॉपी में आपको वो छोटे से कॉर्नर में भी मिलेगा ये चीज बना हुआ. But I can't interpret what exactly it is and why I'm doing so. First time I did it with colors. Otherwise, normally with the pen or the pencil.
Okay. So for that, Simi, I'll request you for an in-person session, because then we need to understand your case. I mean, your entire history and everything, and how that is going on, and then how after we know the history, then we can explore your artworks and how that is, what it means and how it.
Okay. But what that curve means like I used to make this like this. जैसे वो एक होता है ना ऐसे करके, and it's like this. So आपने देखा होगा भी मैंने.
हाँ, तो हर सिंबल हर इंसान के एक अलग मीनिंग रखता है. बट यस, वी कैन फाइंड दैट मीनिंग थ्रू एन इन पर्सन सेशन, जहाँ पे जब आप किसी के थेरेपिस्ट को एक आपका हिस्ट्री देंगे, आपका पूरा केस हिस्ट्री समझ में आएगा, जब हमें एक दूसरे को पता चलेगा कि क्या है, देन वी कैन टुगेदर फाइंड अ मीनिंग टू दैट कर्व और whatever the image is.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
Going to unmute Shmuel from.
Okay, thank you very much on a very interesting presentation. And I want to ask you next question. I want to ask you how art therapy can support improvement cognition in older people, in older persons.
So like I mentioned, Shmuel, that therapy usually it helps in neuroplasticity. Through art, we can rewire our brain. We can create new neural pathways, right? And with that, along with, of course, medication and support therapy, art therapy will help in cases with neurological issues.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Thank you. I'll now unmute the next participant. Hello, ma'am. I've prompted you to unmute.
Thank you, ma'am, for the beautiful session. I'm a therapist and I do work with teens a lot. So okay. I do understand how this art therapy is going to help them. But the thing is, the teens, they're very reluctant initially. Till they understand the essence of that, they don't like to try it. So how to create that interest in them to just let them try first? So anyway.
I'll suggest that that's what I also do. It usually a group session and you can give them group work. You can give them a prompt and you ask them to create either a mural or a sculpture or a painting or a collage. And then from group work, and then you can have reflective questions. You can ask them to write what they felt and then take them individually.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good suggestion. Actually, when they work in groups, they get connected with the artwork itself, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Now I'll mute the next participant now, Usha, prompting you to unmute right now.
My question is just that, I understand therapy and art therapy, it's therapeutic. I take it as therapeutic for all of us. We might find music therapeutic, art therapeutic, something that makes you feel blissful inside. My question is that, is there a need to even understand what we are putting out there? Why is the need to, if I've drawn something, take an example of today's class, I've drawn something. Is there any need to analyze why, what, how, which, or, is there need for that?
So the need comes in case you want to process it. If there's something that you're going through, something you're not getting answers to, something that's not clear, something that is disturbing you, then the need arises to kind of approach it with a different light, to understand what's happening, because art does give you some signals. If everything is smooth and fine, if it's just recreational art, it's perfectly fine. You don't need to analyze it.
I suppose where I'm coming from with this question is that in today's world, especially with the youth of today, it's like everything is they need it super fast at high speed, right? Everything. So when, for instance, when they are indulging, there is a session and there is art that they are indulging in, is it, it's just a thought in my mind that popped up that when they are in every other walk of life, it's all about fast, swift, nothing. They are not grounded within themselves. They're not tuned into themselves. So when you're indulging, let's say in an art or a music or singing, and you just indulge, wouldn't that help them to settle, and then they start the process of perhaps tuning into themselves slowly? Right? So when does a therapist decide to let them be? If the person asks the question, because they're told, right, the children are spoon-fed, everything you ask, you need to ask. But there are many things you don't need to ask, because the answer will come from within you also.
Absolutely. Right. So, right.
When does the therapist draw the line there? When they are questioning you, do you tell them, spend some time, immerse yourself in it and see what comes up, what feeling comes up? How do you draw? How do you know when?
Yeah, so that is why even today we did a small visualization around us here, in the here and now. And then we started the activity of, the prompt that I give, that this is what you need to draw. So that is the grounding part that is done. And then the client or the student or the teen or an adult, whoever indulges in that activity. And then we take questions from that drawing. It's like a reflection of what you put on paper. Why did you give this title? What does this color mean? Why is this here or that here, depending on the case or the history that we have and what we are wanting to heal. So that's how we then take our questions from one to the next.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this in schools as a daily subject just for children to just be? Is it introduced, or is it only taken as a therapy form?
It's taken only as a therapy form as of now. Our therapy is not in the curriculum in schools.
That's a pity.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Thank you. There's a question from Aditi Vats. Is it suitable to organize art therapy sessions for cancer patients?
Yes, it is. It is definitely suitable, and art therapy works wonders with cancer patients in managing their pain, in reducing the effects of chemo and radiation, and stabilizing the patient. So with cancer patients, it works brilliantly.
Oh, can I ask you, before I move on to the next question, I'd just like to ask you, could you sort of decode what you've sketched?
Yes, I can. 1 second. I use soft pastel, so it's all around. So I just covered it. So yes, so I've randomly put colors, and I've used soft pastels because that is the medium I am drawn to usually. So for me, this symbolizes the sun, which is hope for me. So I've titled it Bliss, if you can see. This is the water, and that's the green area. And I have my closest people with me swimming. I don't know if that is visible. And we are moving towards bliss It's basically guiding me that I need to flow, because the object that I visualized was water, and water usually, to me, so everybody can have a different meaning. To me, water means flow, and it is guiding me to flow towards bliss, and that's exactly what came up.
I'd like to now unmute Vishnupriya Mandal for the next question.
I have a question. It was a lovely session, and actually I am a teacher in a primary level, and also I am very interested in art. For a long time I just was drawn towards what is art therapy, because if you tell me, I was painting till now. Yesterday night also, because I got a day break for session break, and I'm fascinated with watercolors painting, but I do not understand how to motivate my children. They're very restless after the pandemic. I mean, the children who were born during the pandemic or who were very little during the pandemic, when they come back, I've seen there's diabolic change in the nature of children, because they are not very restless, and they need to be motivated, a lot more moody than the children we had got before. This is my analysis, because I've been a teacher for a long time. So give me a little bit of some kind of tricks where in whatever we have done today can be used for primary school children as an activity.
Yes, it can be. Rather, it works wonders with primary school activities. Just give them finger paints and ask them, don't give them brushes. Ask them to just paint with their fingers. Give them finger paints. You can put it in bowls and give it. You can also give them mud.
Yeah, we did it last year. We collected mud in the school premise, and they played with it.
Lovely. So ask them to create whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Don't give. So they're too tiny for a prompt.
Yeah.
They'll not understand that. Okay, we need to visualize this, and then we need to do this.
We've given them a modeling clay. We mixed the modeling clay, and they had to create whatever they wanted to create, obviously with guided assistance from us. But the way you gave us a lesson today of analyzing will not work with younger children. I mean, they will not be able to think about a title or the meaning of a work. Okay, so
of course.
How can I effectively use this as a therapy to calm them down, to increase their cognitive ability, or to concentrate on build their concentration?
Yes, so all you need to do is just give them the material, and you'll see a marked improvement. We don't need to analyze the art made by kids of 4, 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, right? That happens maybe pre-adolescence onwards, that we start analyzing.
Sorry to bother, but if you leave them, they will create a huge mess. We have to in our boundaries, because our classrooms are all very decorated. So I just wanted to know a guided way, like a music. It has to be a little structured, because in school you can't give an activity
so you can what you can do is that you give them small containers with mud.
Okay.
Don't give them the Play-Doh, the clay that is available in the market. Give them mud, gili, and give it to them in that container, those rectangular containers, and let them play with them.
Okay.
Or you can give them, you can just paste sheets on their desks and then give them finger paints, and you tell them that, okay, you have to paint only in this area. So they have an area designated. So that way in the school setup you can manage
this is a good idea. Cover their table with newspaper, give them A4 size sheets, and give them little tubs of paint, and just try to restrict.
Let them use their hands. Or feet also, for that matter.
No, not
feet. You can put it on the floor also, and you can put it on floor and ask them to walk with it and maybe wash it, because
you have to be careful about the uniform. I guess fingers will work.
Yeah, and for visualization part of it, you can, we have all these activities. Okay, hands up like that. Now clap your 2 claps and all those things. So you can use that. That will make them grounded. As for adults, we use visualization.
Or else, with the storytelling, visualizing a story into a jungle or animal or something, and then make it into a guided thing, and then go into art.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I'm getting the idea. Yeah. And maybe play a little bit of calming jungle music behind.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, talking to you, I am getting the ideas.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And moving on to the next question, I'm now gonna unmute Nasreen. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. The session was very nice. Actually, I have two questions. Two questions I have. The first one regarding the creative session. First, I created the drawing I visualized, but I was not satisfied regarding the color I used. So again, you gave us 2 minutes. I again redraw like another page. So what can you tell regarding that? because I couldn't put the proper image I visualized. It was really beautiful. But when it comes to the paper, what if I am not satisfied? What I imagined and what comes to the paper?
What do you think it tells about your personality?
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
clearly,
that's
yeah, I
things
can
perfect.
analyze my own. Yeah, I want things perfect. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
could be one of them. Of course, I don't have your history. I don't know you
Yeah,
in
yeah.
person. But yes, one very general thing is that probably you do want things that are perfect, and till the time that it's not perfect, you keep putting in more effort.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's me. And one more regarding the art therapy, and I know you are also a psychologist. So when a client came for art therapy and collecting a sample, and both of you, the therapist as well as the client, after analyzing the same sample, if the client and therapist know, like, okay, this person is feeling some emotions, like maybe anxiety, frustration, or anger, anything. So what will you suggest as an art therapist and also as a psychologist, how to guide her, like in the following sessions, and how to like suggest a solution for that problem she is handling with?
Yes, so when a client comes to us, Nasreen, we usually, so there's also a lot of talking that's happening. It's not like a quiet session that I've given a prompt and the client is doing, because it's a one-to-one, right? So there's a lot of talking that's happening, and there's a lot of reflection that comes up, and with those reflections we have a discussion with each other, and then we give ideas. So recently, I'll give you very general ways that we give people to handle their anxiety, because again, it is case specific. We can ask them to say breathing with awareness. We all breathe, but how many of us breathe with awareness? No, right? So we teach them to breathe with awareness. We teach them to drink water sip by sip. So taking, say, 7 to 8 minutes to finish a glass this big, because when you drink water directly, it mixes into your bloodstream and just releases. But if you drink it sip by sip, it goes to the organs, and each organ takes how much ever it wants. And when the organs are fed with water, when there's hydration, then your stress levels automatically reduce. And then there are other ways also, specific. So that's the discussion that we have with the client.
So as an art therapist, you can also suggest some art exercise to follow as well, right?
Yes. So recently with this client of mine who's pregnant, we've asked her to maintain a visual diary. So every day she's creating something. So even if she's uneasy, so she's put that also. So it's become a visual diary, which also becomes a keepsake for her baby, or as her pregnancy journey. It shows the entire pregnancy journey, right? So we do those kind of things.
Okay, I would like to know if the clients, like most of the people were not artists or art based, so maybe for some people it is really new. So I would like to know, like, is that effective to the clients?
Absolutely.
Like, who came to you with that therapy?
Absolutely. My first session when I got into those online sessions was scribbles. I was scribbling with both my hands like that, and it made a lot of sense. When we just
that's really nice. Actually, I'm a certified art therapist. Like I'm like to practice. So I have no psychology background as well. So you have this both, So that's why I asked you this.
Maybe we can connect apart from this and then talk more about it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Also, I'd like to give one input for Nasreen, that I think you feel that your work is incomplete because you're an artist, and most artists actually feel like that. Yeah, most artists actually feel that their work is never complete. The art that they're working on is never complete. That's why it's something that you probably felt. Thank you so much, Nasreen. Moving on to the next question, I'm going to now unmute Ahana Roy. Kindly unmute yourself.
Hi, this was a really great session. I'm a teen myself, so it really helped me, get to know the different types of psychology. And I'm also in the, decision-making process of what should I take for my career. So it was really nice because in 11th you have to, choose your stream. So I've taken psychology. So the reason why, I attended it because I'm really, inclined to performing arts and all. So I think that's a really great way for, I saw a lot of people were asking about, how you can kind of motivate teens to do this. So I feel like in a way, if you kind of incorporate anything which interests us, like I think a lot of people are now inclined to art or music. So if you kind of use that to motivate people, it will help. Other than that, I had 2 questions. The first one is you suggested it, you can do it in daily basis, which I feel like is really nice because as a student with boards and other examinations, it's really difficult, and most of the time people forget to, especially teens, forget to take care of themselves. So definitely art therapy is one thing which is really nice. So what are some exercises that you would recommend for art therapy? Because most of my friends, they aren't able to examine the situation, or they aren't able to interpret if they have made something, they can't interpret it. So what would you suggest some exercises for that?
See, Ahana, if you're asking me some art therapy exercises, like I mentioned even earlier, that we need to understand the client first. So that is need-based. So our prompts cannot always be generalized. They're need-based. So that happens in person usually, or when a module is created. Otherwise, in general, you can ask your friends or even for you to breathe with awareness. That really helps, especially teens and kids giving exams and boards. And by breathing with awareness is that you actually feel the air that goes in, and where does it go, where is it taking a U-turn, and then how is it coming out, whether you can feel the air in your nostrils, how that feels, whether it is something over here, when you're breathing, you'll understand. So breathe with awareness, drinking water slowly, walking on the grass barefoot, engaging in activities with mud, all of these things help you relax. But for activities, art therapy activities, I need to understand the need that is there for me to give you a prompt.
So my second question is so does art therapy kind of help you to also, people tend to run away from their situation thinking that they can escape from it. So does it, in the end kind of, if you take art, it kind of pushes you to also assess the situation that you have, because then in a way it will help you interpret the situation better. So is that something which art therapy also kind of, indulges?
Yes, it does. I'll give you a personal example if you want. I was creating an installation for boundaries, my own set of boundaries, and I'd never thought of it, and I randomly created something and I placed certain things wherever they were, and then suddenly this thing, when I was looking at it, it came up, okay, why did I do this? So that escapism, that my boundary was let loose or was very strong, and then that why came in, and that's how then I started working on that. So yes, art therapy does help you with things, and if you're escaping or if you're not aware or if there's some confusion, it does give you an answer. Most welcome.